Yes, sir. Welcome to the first show. I'm Mitchell.
I'm Numbers.
And your man's B. Davis.
And we are the Basketball Hour. And welcome to the show, man. I'm hyped. I can't even get it out.
I am too.
Flattered to be here, young man.
All right. Well, first of all, you know Mitch and Numbers, so we got a new special guest with us. His name is B. Davis, but his real name is Brandon, but everybody calls him B. Davis.
Yeah.
So here's the history of this show. I'm a big fan of Grantland, Bill Simmons, Zach Lowe. To me, the best NBA writer out there. And, I threw the idea out there to Mitch, since we're big basketball heads, that's what we love to talk about on the show. And when we're talking about sports, off air and just chilling, talk about sports, we mainly talk about basketball. So I figured I would be, I would steal the idea that Grandin uses, for their basketball hour, and we would have something like that of our own here with WODU. So this is the WODU basketball hour.
And we had to turn up though, man. Like
that special edition.
Oh, Lord.
So I was joking with B. Davis before the show started. Mitch and I are like Russell and KD, and he's our Dion Waiters.
I just don't understand it.
You're gonna get teased, man. You're the newbie.
Man,
you just have to accept it.
Except I get the ball though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You see, this is perfect.
One thing you gotta understand, man. B. Davis brings a comedy to the show for sure, man.
Yeah,
like, for sure. So he's about to have me weak up in here. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. You already know how it is, Numbers. We like to get things kicking right off.
I see you tweeting John Wall NBA ballot. Respect.
I had to do that because first of all, man,
Respect.
he's a top 5 point guard. If we're gonna start with hot takes,
all right, let's just do our top 5 point guards because I need to hear B. Davis' top 5 point
man,
guards.
yeah, and we'll put you on the spot.
I'm gonna put him on the spot early.
Let's go. Come on, turn up.
Top 5, man. All right, who we got? Of course, got to go with my man Steph. Warriors looking good this year. I also got to go with CP3. This is no particular order.
Okay.
CP3.
No order.
Okay.
Still throwing Rondo in there, man. He's still, holding up this Mavs chemistry. Throwing Rondo in there. Oh, I got 3. Okay, two more. I'm throwing Westbrook in there, man.
You have to.
Yeah, he's just been on a tear. And the people might not believe me, man, but I'm just gonna choose Kyrie.
I knew it.
Over,
I knew it.
John Wall.
Can we get your reasoning?
I mean, we've had this discussion so many times amongst the three of us. I know B. Davis is just never gonna change his mind on that.
Let's just tell the people why, though.
Kyrie's a baller, man. Not to mention a Duke prospect. Shout out Duke, Coach K on that 1,000-win coming up. I just feel like Kyrie, man. He on a good day, they've been on a little slump this year, the Cavs, but he's just trying to hold up that weight with LeBron and K-Love. I think they're gonna still get it together by All-Star break.
They're getting it together now. Now that LeBron's here, they couldn't get together when Kyrie was leading the team. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know, and he had to do that in LeBron's absence. He had to do that from 2010 to 2014. Hold up that weight. I mean, that's kind of a big shoe to fill.
Yeah, the team wasn't any better when Kyrie was there by himself.
John Wall built that team.
What was the help though? LeBron's the only one that can really take a team all to the promised land.
I think Kyrie and Kevin Love are both overrated.
John Wall took that team to the playoffs last year, son. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Even though it was
only him. I'll give my top 5 point guards now.
Come on.
All right. So Chris Paul, Stephen Curry, Russell Westbrook, John Wall, Damian Lillard.
Okay.
So do you? Let me pause you. Do you agree that D. Lillard is a top 5 point guard?
I think he is that caliber.
He's a caliber, yeah.
He's an upper echelon.
Top 5 defensive award, top 5 defensive win shares at point guard. We already know how great he is at offense. Throw that together. Bing, bang, boom. He's a top 5 point guard.
Come on, man. So since we're gonna do that, I'll go ahead and get my top 5 then. I'm gonna go ahead and say no order, by the way. John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Damian Lillard.
I think that actually is your order, but yeah, that's a good top 5. Yeah, same as mine. Yeah.
Actually.
Oh man, my thing with John is that there hasn't been a player in the last 3 years, or there hasn't been a player since. I'm not gonna give names because that's too general.
Yeah, we don't want to put that much pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But there hasn't been a player that came out of that draft that has kind of been this big for a team. John Wall has been
Boogie might have something to say about that.
I understand that, but I mean,
Here
Think
But
about
I
this
guess
though. Think about this though. Shaq on the Magic had a huge impact, but he was able to make them look, good. Like
Paul George too.
Paul George.
I get what
in
you're
that
saying.
draft.
Now I'm just testing you. This is a basketball hour.
I get
yeah.
you. And it is. Evan Turner was in that draft. He's on your team,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah. We have to tank. Yeah, I love it. This is awesome.
Ah man. So I was
You're not living if Evan Turner isn't your starting point
Paul
guard.
George was number 10. I didn't know that.
So
PG-13, cheesiest player in the NBA. He's the RG3 of the NBA.
My thing is, all right. So since people may not know, like, who is your team or who's your favorite basketball team?
Yeah.
Since we're gonna do this, I can't wait to hear yours, B. Davis.
Yeah.
I'm just a LeBron fan. I mean, at the same time, I'm sticking with the Heat. I'm gonna go. I'm shout out to Miami Heat, man. He's
one of the ones that was outside in Game 6.
This is gonna be fun.
On a serious note, I'm not gonna say I'm a Cavs fan though. Like I'm still gonna be rooting for the Heat. They rebuilding right now. It's all good.
And they're rebuilding, all right.
No, we're not rebuilding. We're
You
still
are,
here.
you are.
First
Rebuilding
of all.
as far as they need new additions.
And
They
I
need a lot. They need a
say
new team.
we're like, as in I'm a Miami Heat fan. I've been there since 2002. So
Okay.
Eddie Jones, man.
Celtics. I mean, but I'm not, willing to talk about it right now. No, I mean, like I know what we're doing. We're rebuilding. We've got good pieces. That's the thing. Like, there's an identity. I mean, we have good young building blocks in Marcus Smart and James Young. I actually like Jay Crowder more than I joked about it first, like, oh, we got Jay Crowder.
Dude,
I actually like him.
Nice, man.
No, I like him. I'd love to keep him around as a role player. I oddly like Tyler Zeller, good offensive rebounder.
Tyler Zeller.
I mean, I don't think he's a starter. I mean, there's pieces with this team. Avery Bradley too, one of the best defensive.
Exactly.
He's better than Cody. He's one.
Cody is hilarious because I really thought he I didn't think much of. I thought he had a good offensive game at Indiana, but I didn't think
he should have left after his freshman year.
I didn't think he was gonna be a huge NBA prospect.
No, I didn't think he'd be an all-star.
I always thought Mason had that.
Mason Plumlee?
Yeah, I always thought he had that.
You and Jason Kidd both did, apparently.
Yes.
Kidd loved playing him with the Nets last year, and now you're seeing that he's,
now
pretty much kicked Brooke Lopez out of town. Yeah.
Hashtag
right.
I'm nice.
So let's cut to the chase. Let's get right to the core of what the first show is. It's a perfect time to start, really, because we're approaching the midseason mark in the NBA.
Yes,
All-Star break is coming up.
Sir.
Let's talk awards. Let's start with our MVP and give your first place, your runner-up, and the third place. We're not messing around this basketball hour, ladies and gentlemen.
Bet.
All right, I'll start it off with my MVP top 3. I think Mitch and I are probably going to be very similar on this one. I don't know what to expect with B. Davis, by the way. B. Davis is a wild card here. I thought I was the wild card until B. Davis showed up. So I got James Harden from the Rockets as the MVP. Just the way, he's still, playing at, an historically elite level right now, but I still have not forgotten how great he was when Dwight Howard was out. I think that really cemented that James Harden is the man.
40-point
That's
games.
his team. Exactly. Okay. My runner-up. And by the way, it's very close between first and second. I wouldn't, argue anybody with having this man as their MVP because I think it's that close. Stephen Curry from the Warriors. I mean, what can you say about him? He might finish with a 50, 40, 90 season. For a guard with the ball in his hands as much as Steph, that's pretty impressive to me. My third place, I know Mitch is going to like this. Marc Gasol from the Memphis Grizzlies. Best center in the NBA right now. Close between him and Boogie as far as best center goes, but I give you edge to Marc Gasol because of how beautiful he is to watch in that pick and roll offense and his defense. So I got Harden, then Curry, then Marc Gasol as my MVP ballot. B. Davis, who you got?
Well, I got the same top 2 for you, except they're going to be switched.
Okay.
I got Steph as number 1.
Okay.
I'm not even being biased towards the Warriors. I just think that this man has definitely been on a tear this season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
His threes is just incredible to watch. He's one of the most,
and he's cut back on the turnovers too. I think that's a big thing that Kerr's really done with him. He's really cut back on the turnovers.
Yeah, definitely healthy.
That's huge. And his defense, he's improved as a defender too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
the top 1 top 3 in defense. Right.
But the turnovers being cut down is really huge for me as far as stuff because when you have a ball in your hands as much as he does, ideally you would not want to turn the ball over much.
Also, his vision and playmaking has gotten a lot better. It's not only now with Steph you get just shooting, you're getting shooting, you're getting penetration and kicking out.
And I hate to keep rambling on. When it comes to Steph Curry, I don't think enough of us really sit back and think we didn't think he'd be this good. Because when he came into the NBA,
Davidson,
when he came into the NBA, I remember thinking he won't be like he was at Davidson. Yeah. He'll be a solid 17, 18 point per game guy. He'll probably get traded a bunch just because he'll be like a fringe all-star type guy. Yeah, and that's what I thought Steph was, a 17, 18 point per game guy. Maybe not even a starter. But can we all I think most people probably thought that. I don't think many people were thinking this guy's an all-star. He'll be the top tier point guard in the league one day. How many people probably thought he was a shooting guard in the NBA anyway? So I think we really need to.
Like, dang, he's kind of small.
I think we really need to appreciate like the improvement Steph Curry has made since day one in the NBA.
Bro just gave an ode to Steph Curry right quick.
Yeah.
So, hey, salute, man.
Salute,
man.
But James Harden, you put it in a nutshell. He's been balling, averaging 27 a game this season, man.
That's 2 in the league.
Just imagine if he was still on the Thunder. I'm sure that they're feeling pretty bad off of
They don't need to hear that anymore.
Yeah, you're right. And
I'll kill him for that plenty of times on this show. Don't worry.
My third man, it's got to go between LeBron and AD right now, man. Honestly, I'm putting. LeBron
I like the AD love. I like the AD love.
It's got to be respectable.
AD should be.
He said, no, hear me.
LeBron will definitely get this MVP when he wants to. Right now he's trying to adjust.
And I agree. I was saying before we came on here that LeBron, watch out for him because Cleveland is 21-12 with LeBron, and that record's climbing because they've been killing it since he came back. They're beating good teams, right? So I think if they finish around between 50-55 wins, I think that's still doable. Yeah, it's doable. It'll be tough to get 55, but I think if they just keep rolling, 50 is very much doable. But if they keep rolling with this, like they I think LeBron can definitely
honestly
win
I see between 48 and 50.
Yeah, between that 48 and 52 mark. Now, for Anthony Davis, I'm glad you mentioned him. I think he should finish in the top 5. He's been the best player in the NBA this season, in my eyes. But he has the worst coach in the NBA. I mean, if the people who watch Pelicans games can identify with this, it's painful. Like, we need to get Anthony Davis a good coach as soon as possible. That should be like everybody's New Year's resolution for 2015.
Who is the coach, actually?
There you go. Monty Williams. He is just awful. Just awful. Makes the worst in-game decisions. He's just a terrible coach.
Pelicans aren't even a bad team. They're not even bad.
Their guard play is disgusting to watch. Like, there's talent on that team, but their guard play is awful. Anthony Davis should be putting
Eric Gordon's there. He's just washed.
Yeah, it's sad. But Anthony Davis should be scoring 32 points per game. He really should be.
He's the only one holding, and he's averaging 2 blocks.
The fact that they'll be, if they finish around top 5, or if they finish around 500, he should be top 5 in MVP voting. The fact that Malone, he's been the best player in basketball this season.
They're the East, right? Yeah.
West.
Okay.
All right, Mitch.
Mine are the same as yours. No?
Yeah,
it's the same exact order. And it's not. We didn't even like coordinate about this. And I've had James there for a while, man. Like, I've always been a big James fan. I've always been a fan of his shot form. I've always been a fan of the way he can release the ball off the dribble. I'm like, dang, dude, how do you do that? First of all. And then the way he's lit it up, because I remember when he got drafted out of Arizona State, I was like, this guy is a good slasher. He's got a solid shot. But is he superstar material? I don't know. But it's awesome to see him at this level. Chill.
I identify with that. All right. Moving on to Rookie of the Year. I think this is probably the easiest award to give a single winner to. My top 3, Andrew Wiggins, the Wolves. I've been saying this. I had to convince these two. The Wiggins, there's really no race between Wiggins and anybody. And this was great after Jabari got hurt. I'm going to be honest, though. I don't think Jabari would progress as much as a rookie if he were still playing the way Wiggins has, just because I think Wiggins' game lends itself to more broader improvement. That's just me. But, Jabari aside, hopefully he can come back and, have a good full rookie year next season. Andrew Wiggins, unanimous Rookie of the Year, I think probably would be right. This guy's a superstar. I think he'll be a top 3 player in the NBA within the next 5 years. My runner-up, this is where it gets tough. I'm not on the Nikola Mirotic bandwagon like some people. I think he's a really good spot-up shooter. Granted, he doesn't get super minutes because the Bulls are really stacked in their front court. But he's
nice though.
Yeah, he's a solid 6-man type player, and if you can get that in a rookie, I think that's always a plus. So he's my runner-up. Third place, and this was my guy I picked to win it preseason, Elfrid Payton from the Magic. He's been playing really well lately. This guy plays with no fear. Excellent. He can't shoot, but he's a really, really good defender. amazing passer. This guy's a competitor. And I tell you what, the Magic backcourt is going to be scary. It's going to be terrifying within the next 3 or 4 years. Once they get a real coach.
I see it coming.
I've been told him about people and
I had to tell him. He tried to tell me the Magic were a playoff team.
What's the other guy's name on there?
Aaron Gordon.
Nah,
he's nice too, by the way.
Yeah, he's been solid.
I can't think of his name.
Oh, Nikola Vucevic.
No,
for the Magic.
Yeah, the Magic.
Nikolai.
Harkless.
Oh, I know the name.
Tobias Harris.
Yes, Tobias
Harris. He's nice.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. I told Mitch there's a lot of talent on the Magic team, but they don't have a coach.
Right. Yeah.
Not a playoff team. I told you, man.
Dude, but it doesn't even matter. It
was
a hot take, though. All right, so
it ain't all about the hot takes.
Cool.
Hey, rookie of the year, I got Andrew Wiggins, Nerlens Noel, and Nikolai Mirotic. I don't know what that was, but yeah, I believe Wiggins has been vastly improved since the first couple of games of the season that we've seen. He's
been a better player than Kevin Love over the last couple months.
Yeah, he's been way more valuable. And the one thing that I drew comparisons to for his improvement was like Harrison Barnes when he started at UNC to the way he finished the season. That's the way I've seen him improve over the season in the NBA.
The bodies are similar too.
Exactly. That's what I'm seeing. But I think he's gonna.
Kobe said that he's like a reflection.
Of course, he said that because Wiggins torched him that night.
Exactly.
Kobe's washed.
And Nerlens Noel is going to be a double machine in this league. I can't wait till he gets that touch together.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he just needs to work on the free throws, develop that hook shot a little bit. He'll never be, maybe even his teammate Joel Embiid offensively, but if he can be Tyson Chandler,
exactly,
nothing wrong with that at all.
That's another Pop disciple down there, so watch out for the Sixers.
I've been saying that, yeah.
The Sixers,
they're not
get it together.
They're bad, but they're not like that bad. Like when you watch the Sixers, there's an identity on that team. No player on that team is shorter than 6'6". I think it's pretty clear what they want. They want to build a long, athletic team that can push the ball, move it around.
Right, I can see that. My top three were actually the same as yours just now. I had Nikola, Andrew by default, and
Nerlens. Yeah. Just need more consistency from Nerlens.
Nerlens can definitely have the potential, though.
I don't think he'll ever be a star. Maybe he could be like a borderline all-star. Maybe because he'll get like defensive love and he'll be like a double-double, like Mitch was saying. But
you think he would have if he didn't get hurt?
What?
If you think he'll be like a dominant like center?
No, he'll never be a dominant center, but I think he could be a reliable one. I mean, Tyson Chandler isn't a dominant center.
Correct.
A reliable one. I mean, dominant centers are hard to come by anyway. All right, moving on to Defensive Player of the Year. I think we'll probably all have the same winner.
Yeah.
My winner is Tony Allen for the Grizzlies. This is going to sound like I'm taking the easy way out. I just think this guy's overdue for a Defensive Player of the Year. He's been the best defensive guard in the NBA for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I really think he's the backbone of that Grizzlies defense. I even said when Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year that Allen should have won it because Gasol's a really good defender. He's actually gotten better since that, but I just think Allen is Memphis in terms of their defensive identity. So I got Tony Allen winning it. My runner-up is Tim Duncan for the Spurs. It's amazing what this guy is doing defensively this year. The guy is ageless, and you can argue he's the best big man in the NBA still. And I'm not going to ignore that. I mean, he's playing, like 30 minutes a game but he's playing the best defensive basketball of his career and could end up winning this. Third place, Anthony Davis for the Pelicans. Because, I mean, if he's not going to win MVP because his team stinks, and hopefully, again, maybe I'm taking the easy way up. But, on top of it, he's just an excellent defender.
Yeah. I said Anthony Davis actually was my number one.
Okay.
He was averaging close to 3 blocks a game.
Okay.
Tim Duncan was my number 2. And Tony Allen.
Okay. So,
Tony definitely getting shafted, though. I definitely said him. But
I agree. I'd love to see a guard win it.
I just feel like, the vets in the game right now, man.
Yeah.
They can do it.
I had AD as well, number 1. So
I like it.
Come on.
I like it.
Okay,
I like the AD love.
I had AD first. Like you said, 3 blocks a game, and not only that, but his opponent's field goal percentage is stifling when you look at it.
Yeah.
So,
but the Pelicans are also letting 50% at the rim. They're like letting them score.
Yeah, they're letting them get to him, and then he's not letting him get past him. Yeah.
Exactly. You can not let that happen.
I really wish they kept Nerlens Noel instead of made that Drew Holiday trade. How fun would that be to see him and Anthony Davis?
I
They'll just
really,
all be young.
Yeah.
I really think they could have went a different route at point guard.
Yeah.
For them, I mean, Drew Holiday is a good point guard, but he doesn't fit them.
No.
So
I think Tyreek, he would have been all right on there too. Tyreek Evans.
They tried too hard to patch together a playoff team really quickly when in the West, you have to really just build it up.
Yeah, and that chemistry of those guards and
Exactly.
guards / hybrid forwards.
In the East, you can do that, but not in the West. And especially when you have a terrible coach. I'm going to keep hammering this home. Like watch Pelicans games, and you'll see just how awful Coach Monty Williams is. It's between him and Derek Fisher for worst coach in the NBA, but Derek Fisher shouldn't be a coach in the first place. So I'll give the edge to Monty Williams.
AD. I had Tim Duncan as well and Tony Allen as well.
All right. We all have the same 3 players.
Now, this is one of my favorite categories right here. We're going to go 6th man of the year.
Okay.
And with this one, I had to give it to Jamal Crawford. I think he's going to win another one. His impact and his averages all point towards it. And, if I also had Rasul Butler up there at number 2. You have definitely faked on him. His impact has been severe, both of you. Hello.
Wow. Not faking.
And 3rd would be Isaiah Thomas. Man, he's nice.
Okay.
Ooh, wow.
I like that though. I do like that.
All right. My preseason pick was Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling him as a 6th man this year. Here's my list. All right, I got Jamal Crawford winning it. My runner-up is Lou Williams from the Raptors. He's really made a comeback year as a really good 6th man for the Raptors. My 3rd place is Reggie Jackson from the Thunder.
Okay.
I like
if I had a 4th, it would be
Reggie
Taj
Schmurda.
Gibson. Yeah, Reggie Schmurda.
I guess I'm gonna go against the grain and say I think my first pick would definitely be Gerald Green.
I like that. I actually like that.
Gerald Green has definitely been improving this season. He's averaging 13 a game.
And if he gets traded to another team where he can really showcase himself off the bench, because there's so many guys that get minutes off the bench in Phoenix. Yeah, if he gets a better opportunity with another team, which I think he will, I actually really like that pick.
And my 2nd was the reigning trophy winner, Jamal. And for 3rd, 6th man of the year, man. Ooh. That's a hard one, man.
Stumped.
Everybody's been doing their thing this season, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead and throw Rasul out there, man.
No, I can't just do Rasul like that. But
Maybe
I was in the preseason also doing Isaiah Thomas too.
Yeah.
He has his games, but he just doesn't stand out to me this
agree.
season, honestly.
I agree.
But I'm gonna keep holding on for the little guy.
The little guy.
All right. Coach of the year. I hope we're unanimous on this one.
Come on.
I think. All right. Here's my winner.
Sure
He was also my preseason pick. Was Mike Budenholzer for the Hawks.
Let's go.
I mean, they're the best team in the NBA right now. This is Pop Jr. All right. I'm so glad I could finally do this. The Hawks, I drove a Hawks bandwagon harder than anybody I know personally. I mean, there's obviously writers, I'm sure.
I was right there with you.
No,
and
come
you
on.
can say I wasn't. I was.
You drove it, but this was my thing. I took it and ran with it. I was waving a flag around.
Came on my bus and I'm taking your route.
Oh, okay. Hawks are my baby. I have them winning the NBA Finals right now.
Shout out Kent, man.
This is on the NBA front page, by the way. So
people are finally getting hip. It's good, but
it's so mainstream now. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's. I mean, people. When you watch the Hawks, they just move the ball around so beautifully. I mean, this team it's like they play as one. I know that sounds cheesy, Bill Walton-esque, but I mean, these guys, they don't. Watching them in transition is amazing. They don't miss a single man in transition. Yeah.
But can they do it in the playoffs?
Sure.
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, and I understand why you ask it, but have you seen the Hawks ever play like this, though?
I want to see them play 7 games in a row.
They're 34-8. They're cooking against the East. They would dismantle. Well, they wouldn't dismantle Chicago Bulls, but I think they would beat them in 6.
Oh, they may beat them at 5, bro.
Oh, all right. Thank you. I don't see the Bulls.
And that brings me to another subject. I feel
like
the Bulls have been getting
right now, though.
I feel like the Bulls have been getting a lot of praise.
I think they're imploding.
They're quietly winning, but at the same time, they have their issues.
As long as Derrick Rose is on that team, they're never winning the title. So here's my. All right, let's keep it with Coach of the Year because I think this is going to keep getting interesting. My 2nd place is Steve Kerr. I mean, what can you say about the guy? I get that he inherited a really talented team, but this is his first year ever as a coach.
Yeah, man, you can't.
The Warriors are best team in the West right now, and he's definitely left his marks. Like he's done. He's he's made this team better than it was when Mark Jackson left. I think it was I thought going into it that I thought Steve Kerr would be a better coach than Mark Jackson, but I thought out of the gate the Warriors would struggle. And maybe they are due for some sort of struggle season, but the way they've started off, it's amazing. And I think Steve Kerr maybe he should win Coach of the Year, but I think I just personally prefer Budenholzer. But Steve Kerr's done an outstanding job with Golden State. And my third place, Terry Stotts from the Trailblazers. Trailblazers are kind of another team that maybe not enough people watch. They're arguably the best team in the West. If it's not Golden State, I would say it's Portland right now. Their offense is amazing. He was already an offensive specialist because he ran Dallas's offense under Rick Carlisle for a couple of years before he came back to head coaching in Portland. But the defense, the way he's made them very conservative as a team defense, which benefits all these guys because none of them really individually are stalwart defenders. Right.
Mhm.
None of these guys are stalwart defenders individually, but it takes the pressure off of each of them individually, which helps the team defense. It's why Damian Lillard has really become a better defender. It's why Wes Matthews, who's already, a really good two-way guard, his defensive talents are just being highlighted.
Contract player now.
Right.
All right. Chill.
Okay.
Chill.
I'm gonna
Hear your top three, B.
My top three, man. I'm going with Whitman, man. He's definitely number one
Let's
right
go.
now with the Wiz kids.
Come on, man.
KD 2016. Watch out.
Mhm.
Number two, Steve Kerr, man. What he's done with this team is just incredible. They went on the 16-game tear, 16-0, and then what? They lost to who? The
Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Grizzlies. Grizzlies doing their thing too, though.
That's right.
And third, I'm going with Terry Stotts, man. D. Lillard,
Okay.
Marcus, they're looking nice. I'm
glad to see some Stotts love.
Yeah, I'm not gonna count them out at all. They could potentially do the West too.
They could potentially do the West.
Do
I'm
do not go to sleep on them. That's
okay,
all I'm
bet.
saying.
Yeah,
I like, and I respect all three, both of your three picks so far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and throw out my guy for Coach of the Year, Mike Budenholzer.
Thank you.
At one, the Hawks look like a young Spurs team now.
They really are.
They look like a championship Spurs team right now, and that has me saying, okay, I've seen the Hawks play before, but their offense has never been this.
It's
potent.
never been
It's
this
beautiful.
crisp
Their
and
defense-
It's
everything,
beautiful.
man.
It's the way basketball should be played.
Al Horford.
He's
Don't sleep on
he's
him
back
either.
now. No, he's back
No,
now.
not-
He's back.
Did you nah, because I remember you texted me saying Al Horford was washed.
No, I didn't know. Not at all. I said Al Horford
Oh,
was coming off the injury and he wasn't himself.
I said, whoa, that's absurd, man.
No, he was coming
he
off.
is
the
coming
injury.
off an injury though.
Yeah, he was coming off a really serious injury. It took him a while to get his groove back. Now he's getting it back. It wasn't Al Horford at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but it didn't take as long as I think you said, though.
No, it didn't because he's back now.
Yes, sir. But I had to say what he's done with Jeff Teague and his development as well
All-star.
has been, come on. It's been monumental for the Hawks, and they've got the Hawks selling out games now. They've got the Hawks bringing
Atlanta.
in, mainstream people.
Shout out my Falcons too, man. We're gonna do this next
Atlanta
year.
needs
just
a
so
team
we
that
know,
can
you
win,
know.
so you might as well get behind the Hawks.
Yeah, we're getting Dan Quinn. Just know Dan Quinn, Kyle Shanahan. We're looking out, man. Let's go.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Oh,
join the
wow.
club.
Oh wow.
But anyways, number two, I have Randy Whitman. I mean, the guy is doing an absolutely great job, and barring anything haywire from him this season with the rotation. I went to four Wizards games over the break, and so I got a chance to kind of sit there and just watch him, and I was really enjoying the way he rotated his players, because rotation is key to being a coach, and if you don't rotate the right way, then your team is going to be imploding. Look at Tibbs and his team.
Mm-hmm.
Stealth candidate, I think we can all agree, is Stan Van Gundy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Look at the
yeah,
job he's done.
also a candidate.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, he won't really probably get top 3 consideration unless the Pistons finish with a winning record. I think they'll make the playoffs probably without a winning record. I think
by default.
I think the Heat and the Nets are going to fall out 7 and 8 spots, and I think the Hornets and Pistons overtake that.
And for my third, I had to say Steve Kerr. I think he's done a great job, but he inherited a lot. And the reason that I have Randy Whitman over him right now is because he's kind of worked to this point. And granted, those players are talented. What Steve Kerr is doing there is very impressive. Randy Whitman's kind of grown this team, and,
That's fair.
they bought in. So
That's fair.
What year is this for Whitman?
this is, I want to say, fourth.
Fourth
4th or 5th, something like that.
Oh yeah.
All right, now last individual player award we have before we get to conference predictions as most improved player of the year.
I
This
was
is always
waiting for this one.
this is always a fun one. I think we're all going to have the same winner, and I think he's probably going to win it unanimously or close to it. Jimmy Butler for the Bulls. He was a solid player, an all-defensive player last year. We weren't sure about his offense. He held out and basically said, I want to prove that I'm a max contract player. And right now he's doing that, and he is the best player on the Bulls. He's kind of cooled off lately, but, he's, for my money, been the best shooting guard in the NBA this season. Shooting better than Klay Thompson overall, I believe. And his defense, best defensive two guard in the NBA behind Tony Allen, probably. You could argue he's as good. So I think, just Jimmy Butler he's kind of like the new Paul George in a way. So, and Paul George obviously won most improved. So I think Jimmy Butler wins it this year. My runner-up is Derek Favors for the Jazz. As Mitch may remember, he was my preseason pick to actually win the award, and he hasn't disappointed. It's just Jimmy Butler's, played much better than I or anybody else expected. So I got Derek Favors second. He's really taken a big step up this year. And my third place is Jeff Teague for the Hawks. Now, when you look at him statistically, there's an improvement for sure, but it's not a huge one. But it's just the way he runs that team, the way he's just so comfortable moving that ball around. He's developed the same way Tony Parker did, and I think right now he's a better point guard than Tony Parker. And Jeff Teague to me is an all-star and top 10 point guard. A year or two ago, I think people would have thought you were crazy if you said that.
The guard position is just so deep.
It's in a golden age. We're in a golden age of point guards right now, just like we were in a golden age of big men earlier.
Yeah.
80s, 90s, 70s.
That's true.
So those are my most improved player of the year candidates.
Okay. I had Clay as my number one. He got that max deal this season. I feel like the young boy deserves it, man. He's got that $40 million. He's came from the USA team, and they won. I feel like that was a huge step for him, improvement wise. Okay. He's averaging 21 a game, 21.7 a game. Shooting 47%. The young boy's doing good. And number two right now is Jimmy though. I feel like his defensive attributes are definitely increasing this season. Also, he's just looking so much better than last season. I guess you could say. I noticed something online where he cut out like his cable and he would just go to work out like 3 times.
I read
a
that
day.
too. Yeah.
He's been putting in the work for this upcoming season, and I feel like it's showing. They just need to get their chemistry together. And I'll be straight. And Jeff Teague is my number 3.
Really? All
right.
Yeah,
Jeff Teague.
And the Hawks some love.
Yeah, the Hawks. I'm still not gonna say I'm sold, but at the same time, Jeff Teague is definitely improvement as well. So.
Okay.
Mitchell.
It's progress. It's progress.
Yeah, we're getting there, bro. You got Rio over here. All right, so number 1 for me, for most improved, I actually had Jimmy Butler as well. We already explained on Jimmy. Number 2 for me was different than both of you guys. I had Draymond Green, man.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
You guys are sleeping on Draymond.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Nah, I actually was gonna put him in my top 3. Man.
Nah, you should have, man, because
Draymond
is for sure in there.
Silly me.
He has been lights out for the Warriors in the absence of Iggy.
He might actually get a max contract.
Yeah, the way he's a
max player.
Way he's been playing, he's no longer. You can no longer call him a tweener. A tweener is somebody that never really or has a big motor and is able to do certain things.
A stretch forward that can play defense is going to command a max contract.
Yeah. He just sinks him along with Stephen Clay.
But the great thing about him is he can play 3 or 4 on the court for you, and even 5 for real.
I think he's a stretch 4.
Well, I mean, naturally he is a stretch 4.
He can't play a 3 and a 5. I get what you're saying. It's just the way because
his versatility,
and just the fact that when you boil it down to it, he's a stretch 4 that can rebound and play defense. I think that's going to command a max contract over the summer. I really think it will.
Center in college. Keep in mind, folks.
He was a triple-double machine in Michigan State.
Jump shot.
Yeah, exactly. He had as a nasty 3 because he used to live under the post, and you got to think about it. He had those knee surgeries.
Right.
Steve Kerr, man.
Hey, I mean, sure, you could chalk that up to Steve Kerr. And another thing Steve Kerr's really done, and this is something Mark Jackson never, did well with, developing young guys like on the bench, like Harrison Barnes. Look at the way he's improved.
Maurice,
Mo Spates.
Maurice, man.
Justin Holiday too. I mean, he's not.
I thought he was just gonna be like that kid that just didn't get
Brandon
time
Rush.
on the team. Yeah, exactly.
Brandon Rush,
he's definitely been improving as well.
So it's little things like that really speak for Steve Kerr's greatness, in my opinion.
And then also in there, I have Jeff Teague as well.
Cool.
just wanted to pinpoint this specific like pass he had to Paul Millsap and late in the game the other day.
Yeah.
You remember I was watching the game and I was like, wow, because this dude made a bucket out of nothing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, Jeff T really doesn't get enough credit. So
someone has to anchor that offense from up top. So
yeah, and if they didn't have that, they'd be in trouble. But watch out for Dennis Schroeder soon, man.
Yeah, good trade bait.
Yes, he is, and he's gonna be a good.
No, I mean, yeah,
he's Patrick Beverly Jr., man.
No,
with a shot.
No.
And vision.
No.
Yes, sir.
If you have a shot, you're not Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly shoots.
He's a good 3-point shooter, but Schroeder's got much more offensive ability than Beverly. Stop the Beverly.
Just respect where Beverly's.
Yeah, he's a great defender. I'll give him that. All right, let's get to our conference finals predictions. In the West, I got the Warriors versus the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals.
Not bad.
I've got the Blazers winning it in 7 and advancing to the NBA Finals. I think Terry Stotts' experience there under Carlisle. He has playoff experience from last year with the Blazers, obviously. So I think that kind of makes a difference here. Coaching matters. So I got the Blazers winning in 7. In the East, I've got the Hawks versus the Bulls.
What happened to those Clippers?
I've got the Hawks. Hey, I tried, man. I tried to stick with that. You guys said I could have a redo if by midseason I didn't like that Clippers pick anymore. So I think I've earned it.
They were my pick as well.
I've got the Blazers in 7 from the West. In the East, I've got the Hawks versus Bulls. I've got the Hawks in 6. And like Mitch said, it might be 5. NBA Finals, I've got the Hawks in 6.
Come on, let's
go.
So
much faith in these Hawks, man. It's crazy though.
They have a championship.
I understand
team.
exactly what you're saying though, but I have to see this.
When the Seahawks won last year, did we say, yo, that's a championship team?
Yeah.
And they had never won.
I actually did. I actually knew that they were gonna like be a good team like that. When you saw them,
so why can't you buy into the Hawks?
Because I'm gonna use the same analogy with the Cavs back in 2007 when LeBron.
This is a much better team than that Cavs team. Much better team.
It is a better team, but it's the same thing that they're doing. Basically,
How?
They're looking good. So good this season.
But it's different because I think anybody knew that was LeBron carrying that team. They didn't have a good coach. Yeah, they have Mike Budenholzer, who's a top 5. Budenholzer's a top 5 coach in the NBA, and is probably the heir to Popovich's throne. But Mike Brown is one of the worst.
So what you're telling me they're knocking off the Wizards and the Cavs in the playoffs.
Yeah,
well,
the Cavs.
I'll say my opinion.
I'm just saying, like the Cavs are still.
The Wizards are good, but the Wizards are struggling to beat good teams, though. That's a problem. That's one thing. I like the Wizards. Yeah,
they're struggling.
Yeah, they're never struggling to beat good teams.
They knocked the Rockets off on the road recently.
Come on, man. Like I know this. Like. Their record versus good teams is not that great.
I understand. They're 11-8 on the road.
The Hawks have beaten almost every Western playoff team from last year.
Yeah, that's cool. But once the playoffs come around and once Washington gets there.
No, but it just shows that the Hawks are for real and they're not just beating up on crappy East teams.
A whole other team in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
But I was not coming to your defense on that because
no. I'm just saying that's exactly what it is.
I mean,
they're a whole other team in the playoffs. Like every team knows how to adjust.
Yeah,
playoff time.
I think Budenholzer will know that. I mean, he coached under Pop for 18 years. He almost beat the Pacers last year in the first round without his best player.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
without
Al Horford.
Oh my gosh, you remember that series too because we watched it in my crib.
Okay, I got the Warriors, the Mavs, and the Spurs all battling for that Western. Position, man. It's hard to.
Who's coming out? I'm making it hard.
It's hard to. Jesus Christ!
Let's go.
Okay, man.
I'm making it hard for you, man. Give me your final 2. Who's winning? How many games?
I'm going with the Mavs. I'm going with the Mavs and the Warriors. Gonna
battle that out. Man.
I like it.
All right,
the Spurs somewhere gonna be tied in there, but okay, I'm sorry.
Pulling off, man.
I like it. I like that. No, yeah. I mean, Carlisle is one of the best coaches in the NBA. That's a really good Mavs team.
That starting
NBA coach, and I've said this for years.
That starting 5 is just immaculate. Like you,
are we gonna get playoff Rondo? I'm like Rondo's shooting's been terrible this year. I love Rondo, but his shooting
never been great though.
It's even worse this year.
But it pains me that you think he's not going to be a huge impact in the playoffs for them because
I didn't say that.
Oh, I know, but it's just a way that you think this is trending. It's not going to trend that way. I know.
Warriors. I mean, not the Warriors.
He'll step his game up in the playoffs. Like I'm fairly confident. I've watched Rondo play for 8 years. I know he's going to step his game up in the playoffs when he gets there. But as of right now, stepping his game up in the playoffs wouldn't be a huge step. I mean, his passing is always going to be good.
Remember, he came from the East.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the West has a lot of good point guards. He's going to have to, really, really
Yeah.
step his game up.
Right. I wouldn't mind seeing a Warriors in Dallas series.
I wouldn't either.
I would not mind.
I think the
that.
Mavs would win that because of coaching.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
that would definitely be a good point. Yep.
But I know you. I can't wait. Mine always the controversial. So here we go. My Western Conference is going to be the. Wow, I just went blank. No, it's the Mavs and the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two will meet up in the Western Conference Finals. I think they're the two best teams in the West. Even though there's an immense, depth of teams in the NBA right now coming out of the West. So.
Yeah.
Spurs and Mavs.
I think there's only 5 teams in the West to really take seriously in the long run. Warriors, Blazers, Spurs, Mavs, and Grizzlies.
Yeah. And the Clippers, their chemistry will never be.
I've started to realize maybe Doc is a good coach, but he's not a great one, and he's a terrible GM.
I've said the same thing because there's been some moments where you look and see what Doc is doing and say, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of brain scratching moments.
And he's a horrible GM.
Yeah.
Okay. So
meanwhile, Stan Van Gundy is doing the right things in Detroit.
Yeah. Although having to pay Josh Smith $5 million a year for the next few years is gonna kind of hurt, but
that's gonna kind of hurt. But he made the right move for the short term.
I'd rather pay Josh Smith 5 years to not play on my team than pay him $2 million to play on my team.
Yeah, Stan Van Gundy is not gonna hold anybody with an attitude like that.
Yeah, he got Dwight about it there.
No, yeah.
So I see that.
Difference is Dwight was actually good.
Yeah, that's
Josh
true.
Smith is a bad NBA player.
Prime Dwight.
Talented player, Josh Smith, but just bad NBA player.
Yeah.
He's actually much better coming off the bench for the Rockets. I will give him that, even if he doesn't want to come off the bench.
So you said you're East, right?
No, I didn't actually. The Wiz Kids and the Bulls, I got them in the finals. Wiz Kids coming out in 6. John Wall and Bradley, I feel like will just be too much for, Jimmy and D Rose. And who is to even say D Rose?
I guess I'm the only person in the state of Virginia who hasn't caught Wiz fever. I like the Wiz. I really do. They're a fun team to watch. I love watching the Wizards play. I mean, they're a top 5. Oh, don't give me that.
Like we didn't see them dub your Celtics, but they're nice, man.
Dubbing the Celtics? Is that really?
Marcus Smart was
Are we really gonna brag about?
Marcus.
Are we really gonna brag about dubbing the Celtics?
And they dubbed the Knicks too.
Come on, yeah.
I'm just trolling.
Yeah, come on.
But they also had the Bulls by 18 when I was there.
Yeah, I don't think the Bulls are all that in a bag of chips either.
They're not. Again, this is how you know the East is just kind of less than the West.
The parity is much less or much greater in the East than
more
it is
dominant.
in the West.
Definitely more dominant. But like I said, do not count out those Cavs. I feel like something can happen if they do get this.
WTF, bro?
I just feel like something.
No, they weren't. They were never
counting. I will never count out LeBron.
They were never gonna. They were never gonna win it all this year anyway because Kyrie doesn't know how to win. Kevin Love doesn't know how to win.
No, I wasn't saying win it all, but I'm saying to give them a run, like definitely at least. You don't even say that.
I just don't see those guys adjusting to the playoff atmosphere like that in one season.
Well, now J.R. Smith continues the upward, and Timothy Mozgov continued the upward trend that they're on.
They've been good.
That's a good point because
and Shumpert.
I hate when Shumpert too. I hate when people equated J.R. to Dion like they're the same player. They're not. J.R. takes some dumb shots,
but at the same time,
he's a much better player than Dion Waiters.
And lately, he's been playing like a 6th man of the year, JR. So if he can get himself acclimated completely to Cleveland, which it seems like he's done seamlessly.
Yeah.
And Timothy Mozgov has also been really, really good there. And
great pickup.
See, the difference between JR and Dion is JR, as much as he may want to be a starter and take all the shots, at the end of the day, like he knows that he's a sidekick. He's a 6th man. He knows that. Maybe he may not like it, but he's embraced it. Dion, and I understand where Dion was coming from. He was a young guy. It was his 3rd year in the league. He was a top 5 pick. He wants to prove himself. He wants to have the ball in his hands so he can, prove that he was worthy of being that top 5 pick, that he is a star. Dion wants to prove that. And so I understood how it would be hard for Dion to kind of sacrifice, his already fairly limited role in OKC in Cleveland once LeBron came there. So it was a good move for Dion to get out of Cleveland because that was a place he was never going to shine as much as he wants to. Maybe he'll never shine in the NBA, but at least in OKC where they don't really have a coach that just lets him run around and shoot, it's perfect for Dion.
And Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. But we already know that because Brooks doesn't really do anything as a coach, and that's why the Thunder will never win a championship.
So how about this? I'm on Friendly Bounce today, and I see that the Rising Stars Challenge, which,
First and second year players.
yeah, is first and second year players, it's something I was thinking about going to this year in Brooklyn.
That'd be cool.
It's changing to a USA versus World format, and so the assistant coaches on the NBA's 30 teams will take 4 guards, 4 front court players, and 2 players, regardless of position. And they have to be first year players and second year players combined. So this is going to be chosen by the West coaches and the East coaches, and then world coaches as well. 10 selected.
It's cheesy. I don't like that.
Yeah, why change it now?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Do you like it?
I kind of do like that. Why? Because they're trying to. When Adam Silver is really trying to go global, and he's trying to get the 4 NBA teams in Europe, which to me right now that is a long.
I don't want that. That's not the
we're
NBA.
talking like Jetsons time, my dudes. Like from that happening.
I hope that doesn't happen.
So
that'd be like the NFL having a team in London.
But I do like this though, because we may see they're gonna get crushed. The world is every year, but it would be fun to see some of these guys.
It's like when Bayern Munich comes over and plays the MLS All Stars or something like that.
Yeah, but that was a good game this year that actually happened.
But you know what I mean? Like they dominate.
But my thing is though, could they give them a run for their money though if they just play loose basketball, the European guys?
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
it'll be fun if that happens.
They know how to play.
I was just about to say,
they're structured. Like they'll have their team will be structured. They'll have chemistry.
I think
maybe David Black can go coach him.
Yeah,
I told you Tyronn Lue, man.
No, I was just kidding. You actually think Tyronn Lue should be the coach?
I do, actually.
Hey, peep my Twitter background.
Yes, sir.
Tyronn Lue should never be a coach, man.
Keep mine. There's only 2 faces in it.
Oh, wow.
Tyronn Lue should never be a coach after that.
That's powerful.
So he should never be a coach.
AI disrespected Tyronn Lue's future 4th grade grandchildren with that.
So give me some hot takes, man. We've got about 10 minutes left in this first show, or about 5 actually.
Well, let's talk about who's winning tonight. How about that?
Yeah, that's great. And one of the things that's going to be on the show each week is what to watch for in the games.
Yeah, we got Wizards Thunder tonight in DC. KD coming to DC. Always a big story anyway.
We should be reporting from there. If only we had a live broadcast system.
I'm gonna give a hot take. KD's gonna leave OKC. And can I just go on like an OKC rant, please?
Please do.
All right. So you guys know it's no secret. I can't stand OKC as a franchise. I don't like their owner. I don't like their front office. I don't like their coach. And I just have never liked all their moves. So many of their moves have been terrible. All right. Let's highlight a few good things they've done. They nailed the draft on 6 first-round picks. It would be Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, James Harden. You nailed 4. You got 2 good first-round values in Steven Adams and Reggie Jackson. You traded James Harden. Here's how the James Harden thing worked out. The max for him at the time would have been a 4-year, $60 million deal. OKC offered 4 years, $55 million. They thought if they had paid Harden the max, they would have to go into the tax, and it would cripple them financially for years to come. Turns out they horribly estimated the cap, and they could have paid it off in 1 year, the tax. And I was telling B. Davis this. If Harden wants a max contract and you know that other teams are willing, like it was no secret that other teams wanted to trade for Harden, the Bobcats, the Rockets, probably other teams for sure. If you know another team that's going to trade for him is going to have to give him a max contract in order to keep him, you have a max contract player on your hands. So you need to get more than just 2 first-round picks and Kevin Martin.
Right.
Those first-round picks turned into Steven Adams, who is probably about to be replaced by Brook Lopez via trade as a starter. And Jeremy Lamb, who is less than nothing in the NBA. I mean, terrible as it sounds, it's true. That was a horrible trade.
The upside that I really thought he had, that's crazy.
Anthony Morrow, that was your big signing.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
can't really name too many.
Hasheem to beat. But Deion Waiters trade, all right, sure. If Reggie Jackson does leave, which he probably will, Reggie Schmurda, then Deion might be a good trade down the road. And if you trade for Brook Lopez, anytime, all right, but Kendrick Perkins,
he just needs to go.
The Kendrick Perkins trading for him was dumb, and then but if they can turn him and Perry Jones, who they never developed, which always frustrated me because I love Perry Jones in college.
It was CB 2.0.
Yeah, very similar skill set. I thought if you could turn him and Kendrick Perkins into Brook Lopez, and I think that's a good trade. I'll give OKC credit for that one, but Scott Brooks is a bad coach. You could have fired him after last year and hired Stan Van Gundy.
They don't have.
You could have fired him a couple years ago and hired Stan Van Gundy because Van Gundy was out of coaching for what, 2 seasons? Yeah. Yeah.
Had to be.
Yeah, 2 seasons.
least,
Yeah,
at
because
the
this is
least.
This is Jock Vaughn's 3rd season.
Mhm.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I'll say this. Tonight we've got the Heat and the Hornets. We got 12 games, first of all, on the slate.
I'm sorry, I
tonight.
was just sleeping.
Okay. The Heat will move to 19-23 on the season. Kemba Walker comes into this game averaging 19 points.
Okay.
For the Hornets. And
Oh wow, 19 points. That's winning the scoring title.
Hey, I feel you. I'll take 19 and 5 from him. And he's shooting 40% from the field.
Congrats. 40% is still garbage.
But 16 and 5 at as a career average looks pretty nice too.
Yes, it does.
When they said he wouldn't be anything in the league.
No one said that.
Yeah, they did.
Kemba's just not that good. I mean, not that great. He's good.
Did you see the man in college? Did you not? See
Oh,
the
I
man
saw him in college. Thank you. This just proves my point. People still use the Kemba in college thing for him in the NBA.
But he's averaging 19. What, 3 years?
Plenty
in
of
the league,
guys
2
average
years?
19.
Something like that, right?
Hey, yo, check this game out, though. That's on the slate. I really got to throw this out there. The Knicks and the 76ers. Yo, they're playing tonight, man.
It's a tanking palooza.
Anyways.
Wow, man. That's crazy.
Melo's back now. I don't know why they're playing Melo. I would
don't
just
know,
send him
man.
out.
Why don't they just shut him
down, trade him.
We got a few
Can they
good
trade?
ones
They can
tonight,
trade him
though.
this season.
He is a trade kicker.
We got the Raptors and the Grizzlies. That's at 8 o'clock tonight. That'll be a good one. Dwayne
Grizzlies.
Casey and Dave Yeager.
I got the Grizzlies winning
I'm
that.
taking the Rap in this one.
Yeah,
And we got the Trailblazers and Suns tonight at 9 o'clock.
The young Gunners.
Yep.
Suns are fun to watch.
They really are. Chris Kaman has been really good for the Trailblazers.
Portland, yeah, that
He
was a
just
really
wanted
good
out in
pickup.
LA.
That was a really good pickup.
Yeah, he was laying down. on the
Steve
bench.
Blake too.
Uh-huh.
Really good pickups for Portland.
And then at 10:30, you got the Rockets and the Warriors.
Oh yes, I can't wait for that MVP.
That'll be a shootout.
clash.
That will be a big one.
Yeah.
Big statement.
I think Dwight's gonna have a big game. I think Dwight has 30 points, 15 rebounds.
I think James Harden will have around 27, 28 points, 6
Sounds about
assists, 5 rebounds.
Mhm. Him and Clay will go at it though.
What do you got in that game?
I'm going with the Warriors, man. I'm gonna say they're getting that game. I feel like Steph it would be too much for Patrick. I think one time he already got him out the way this
Mr.
season.
94,
But that's another
94 feet.
But that's another story. Like I said, Clay and James, I think are gonna go at it. James, he's getting a little better, I guess, defensive wise, but Clay's just
Got a lot better defensively. He's got a lot better.
A lot of
I mean, yeah.
I think Dwight gives him the blues.
Yeah,
Dwight
man.
does?
I mean, James's 2 steal the game is a little bit better than
Mhm.
last year.
Yeah.
A little bit. But anyways, you can follow us and see our tweets for tonight's games. I am going to be at Mitch B_TV.
Follow _B Davis. That's B as in boy.
Hey, B as in boy.
At numbers ODU.
This guy is a troll, man. So just prepare yourselves.
I just don't like your team, whoever your team is.
Basically, and he doesn't like your favorite player either. But he doesn't.
Especially
make
if it's
the
Kobe Bryant.
rules. Oh man, dude, yeah. You
This guy,
almost
man.
got Twitter fought like Snotty that time.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So, well, that was the first show of the basketball era, man. What y'all think, man?
It was good. How'd you like it?
Watch out.
How'd you like it? Yeah.
So it only gets better from here.
Exactly.
Every show on out. So we'll be having some special guests throughout the semester, and we'll also be getting a Facebook page for the show. So make sure you get ready for that info, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Peace.
Thank you.